Good afternoon and welcome to Moore Park for Town TV's coverage of Northallerton's trip to Chester Street today. It's the first of 3 away games in a week for Peter Mulcaster's side, and following a defeat on Wednesday night to North Shields, it's become a real must-win game. Chester have been in good form here. They're unbeaten in 6 games at home, and of course they won the reverse fixture at the Calvert Stadium in September 4-2. The defeat for Town on Wednesday was actually only their second in 7 league games, so they're in reasonably good form themselves, but it's important they bounce back today. They did have 2 good victories here last season, 3-2 in the Ernest Armstrong Cup in April, which was Mully's first game back in charge, and then an impressive 5-1 victory in the league a few weeks later. So it could be a 3rd win in a row here, which would obviously be important for the team. We've just got a little bit of team news in. Grant Hickman's not available today, so Mike Coleman's starting in goal. Martin Butterworth is in the team as well, so he'll be making his second debut for the club in midfield. And Dale Elgie's back as well, Mark Hemingway as well at left back. So there's a few changes. It should be an exciting game, and the highlights to follow.
Right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now.
So these are the team lineups, and as we said before, Mike Coleman started in goal, Mark Hemingway was back, and Martin Butterworth was making his return to the club. He actually started the game up front as opposed to field. It was a very windy day actually. In the first half, Town were playing with the wind behind them, so quite often the passes were sort of going out of play and being overhit. This was an early chance for Northallerton. It's a free kick from Gav Park in there, which went into the wall and was then cleared away. And Chester actually thought they had taken the lead midway through the first half. It's Damien Stevens there goes through and slots home, but the linesman on the far side had already given him offside, so the goal didn't count, and it remained 0-0. But there was the first bit of controversy here after 35 minutes. It's a corner from Gav Parkin. Colin Anderson's header there is cleared off the line by defender Kevin Dixon. The referee gives a penalty there, you can see. And because obviously the handball's on the line, inevitably it leads to a red card. It seemed quite a harsh decision. I mean, the people behind the goal had suggested that he actually headed the ball off the line and the ball came back and hit him on the arm, which seems quite unfortunate really. But I suppose technically by the law of the game it's a handball on the line, and I suppose the red card was inevitable, which the referee there reduces. So Chester then were down to 10 men, 10 minutes before half time, and you know, Town now had a chance to really take control of the game with the penalty as well. So Colin Anderson there stepped up and coolly slotted it home. And so at that stage it looked as though Town were going to go on and take control of the game, and they'd been the better team in the first half up to that point. And I say with Chester down to 10 men, it looked as though it was going to be a good day for Northallerton. But it wasn't really how it worked out. Chester could have equalised there almost straight away. Stevens there heading over the bar under pressure from Stephen Banks when he maybe ought to have scored. Chester really did seem to step up the pace really as they went down to 10 men. But Town could have maybe doubled their lead just before half time here. It's quite a good move actually, one of the best moves that Town put together in the game there. Colin Anderson found Martin Butterworth. The ball eventually comes out to the edge of the penalty and Gav Parkin drives a shot in which only just goes over the top of the crossbar there, and that would have been 2-0 and maybe that would have sealed the victory. But as it was, Chester equalised just before half time. That was Stevens there with the goal. Well taken goal as well, but it seemed to be some quite sloppy play from Northallerton, and that actually came in the very last minute of the first half. You know, not the best time to concede a goal. But the second half actually, the controversy really increased at the start of the second half. It was the first attack that Chester put together here. I mean, first of all, in actual fact, it appears as though Graham Cahill, he gets the ball from Dale Elgie there. It looks as though he may be actually fouled by the Chester player there, but the ref says play on. The ball goes over the top. And Stevens looks as though he's just got the wrong side of James Howlett there. But James Howlett gets back and makes a great tackle. But on the word of his assistant there, the referee goes over to speak to him. And the eventual outcome of this actually is that the referee decides that it's a penalty to Chester. And of course, once he's given that decision, the decision to send Howlett off, I suppose, was inevitable, really, as he was technically the last man. But I mean, as you can see by the tackle, it did look as though it was a good, clean tackle, and you know, there was definitely faults there that perhaps the referee was trying to even things out, having sent the Chester player off in the first half. But you know, that was a situation, and it was now going to be a game of 10 against 10. And I say, from looking in a fairly comfortable position earlier on, Town were now maybe up against it. You know, it's 1-1, 10 against 10, and now of course they've got the penalty to face as well. So there he is. So Howlett goes off, and the penalty was taken by Craig Maron, but Mike Coleman actually produces a great save there. Fantastic save to keep the score at 1-1. Brilliant way to mark his first appearance in goal there for the club. But unfortunately, that was about as good as it got for him and for Town. As after that, things quickly went downhill. There's Stevens there chipping in to put Chester ahead with his second goal. Another well-taken goal to make it 2-1, and that was after 52 minutes. And then it was just moments later, Stevens completed his hat-trick there with another cool finish from the edge of the box to make it 3-1, and at that point it was basically looking like it was game over for Town. You know, things rapidly had gone against them in the second half. There could have actually been another red card there. It was Maron there with a very sort of a late lunge there on Mark Hemingway, and it did look as though maybe the referee was going to produce another red card. You know, you've certainly seen him given for challenges like that in the past, but this time it turned out that the referee just produced a yellow card, and that was probably the worst incident of the game. You know, I say there were 2 red cards, but that was probably worse than both of those incidents, and that's just the yellow. So that just sums up the inconsistencies maybe of the referees. But anyway, that was that. So it was still 10 against 10. It was 3-1, but then the game was all over there when Tony Healer heads in from close range. He then seems to get involved with Coleman there, and then seems to roll around. Obviously there's nothing wrong with him there, as you can see. He's obviously trying to get Coleman sent off. He doesn't do himself any favours there, I don't think, the Chester man. But in the end, again, he consults his assistant as a referee, but he doesn't actually award anything at all there. He perhaps could have maybe sent off another couple of players. But in the end, you know, Town kept going. They'd made a few changes, and they did pull a goal back 9 minutes from time. This is a good ball in actually from Andrew Porritt into the penalty area. The ball falls kindly to Darren Coates, and his efforts deflected in. It was already over the line before it got bundled in there by Chris Burton to make it 4-2. There was still, I say, about 9 minutes to go, and you know, you felt as though Town were just starting to maybe get their game together, really, which they hadn't done for most of the second half up till that point. And it may have been quite an exciting finale had this effort here gone in soon afterwards. It's good play again, another good move that Town put together. It's a good ball played into the box there by Danny McLaughlin. It ends up coming to the far post to Colin Anderson. He had a fairly quiet game really, but he does really well here. That's a nice turn in the box and a good shot, but that's a great save from the Chester goalkeeper, Chris Rooks, to keep it at 4-2. And there's a final whistle there, and that was the way it finished. I say, a very disappointing performance and result there for Northallerton, and a disappointing 4-2 defeat.
Right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now.
Well, we're with Mike Coleman following the 4-2 defeat today at Chester Street. Your first game in goal, how did you find it?
Very difficult. Under the circumstances, Peter rang us last night and just said, can you deputise in goal? I thought, give it a go, you know what I mean? It's help the lads out, that's what you can do. But big pitch like this and inexperience in goal, I think, cost us a bit.
But you stayed the penalty anyway, so that's one good moment to
yeah,
the game.
Something to remember it by, innit? But just got to deal with it, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd say it must have been hard. They said being thrown in at the last minute, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, the penalty save at 1-1 was still in the game, and then just daft little lapses there, and then inexperience for myself. just cost us a bit, I think.
What did you make of the overall team performance?
Worked hard. I mean, like I said, the pitch isn't the best, but I mean, both teams have got to play on it. It's just got about working hard and getting in for each other. I mean, silly mistakes here and there costing us, and I mean, the decision of the penalty isn't great with the red card. You know what I mean?
What did you make of that decision? Did you think it was a penalty?
I think it was soft. I mean, looking at it, I think he's tried to even it up with what's went on in the first half with our decision, but I think he's just basically tried to even it up. But you've just got to deal with it, haven't you? Get on with it.
You know, I mean, at 1-1 when you saved the penalty, it looked as though that might have been a turning point for us, maybe. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't quite work for us in the end, did it?
No. I mean, the wind played a factor in the first half, but we've got to get the ball down and play in the second half. And I think we just lacked that bit of quality in the final third today. But
just yeah. For us, did it?
Yeah.
We're really unlucky today.
All right, cheers. Thanks a lot.
We were Stephen Banks following Northallerton's 4-2 defeat today at Chester Street. It's your last game for the club before moving away. Obviously not the end you wanted, really, then.
No, not really, mate. I think we were a bit hard done by with that sending off. I literally spoke to about maybe 4 or 5 of their players who all said their lad was lucky he had a touch, a bad touch I should say, and yeah, there was never a sending off.
What did you make of the sending offs that they had for our penalty?
I don't know, mate. I was just stood on the halfway line, the ball was bouncing about. Don't know, to be honest.
What do you think of the overall team performance? It didn't seem like it.
No, mate. Yeah, obviously I wish the lads all the best going forward with the rest of the season, but it was a bad performance today by everyone. There wasn't really a lot of talking on the pitch, and we just all need to pull together really and start talking to each other throughout the game.
It was quite similar actually to when we played them at home, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the same sort of result then as well. But
shame for yourself, we're saying we're going to maybe to go out with a better performance.
I know, yeah. I would like to have went out with even playing in my normal position on the right as well, but to be fair, we've all had a big layoff for a good few weeks without a game, and no one looked fit, to be honest, myself included.
We're a bit off the pace of the game, aren't we, really?
Yeah, definitely. But second goal was miles offside.
You thought it was?
Yeah. Have you got on the highlights or not?
Oh, we'll have it on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Checking them later, so yeah.
I bet he's about 3 yards off.
Yeah, he might have been.
Even his other centre forward said that as well. He was a good 2 or 3 yards off. But never mind.
I'll say that. I like you today, and I say good luck for the future for you.
No problem. Cheers,
I might see you back one day, maybe.
Maybe.
Cheers, thanks for that.